Hello and welcome. I'm Kelly Bohannon. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Director of Early Learning Programs for the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. It's such an honor to be here with you today to introduce the immense work of amazing partners across our state's communities to create a plan rooted in equity, inclusion, hope, collaboration, and possibility for our state's youngest children and the adults that love and care for them. We call this the Washington Statewide Early Learning Coordination Plan. In a moment, you will hear from some of the people who helped create this aspirational vision to help the state and community partners, those working with parents, caregivers, and early learning professionals, support the healthy development of Washington's youngest children birth to age 8 and their families. It includes high-level goals and strategies designed to focus on the well-being of all young children and families and to eliminate long-standing inequities in early learning outcomes for Black, Indigenous, people of color, and other marginalized communities. This vision will provide a catalyst for the early learning system partners to come together to discuss and coordinate priority actions, to create more detailed implementation plans, to coordinate policy efforts, and to determine the metrics and outcomes needed to measure progress. If you haven't done so already, please pause this video and open the Goals and Strategies document linked in the box below. This is what we'll be explaining and asking you for comments on. So before you continue, I'd like to provide a brief introduction to the amazing work that has been done in this partnership and why this is the perfect time to create a renewed vision for Washington's youngest children and the people who love them deeply and care for them every day. One of the many reasons I'm proud to be a Washingtonian is because in our state, early learning matters. Over the last decade, our state has been a leader in the nation, making significant investment for our state's youngest children and their families, acknowledging the critical nature of early healthy development and the vital role of families and providers in making sure every child in our state has an opportunity for a strong start in life. These things have not happened by chance. In 2010, the state created its first ever early learning plan, a 10-year roadmap that brought together over 1,000 parents, providers, tribal communities, state agencies, the legislature, advocates, and a range of other community partners to create a vision for the youngest children in our state and their healthy development. And while the early learning plan set important foundations and helped us make great strides to strengthen systems, services, and programs for our youngest children in the last decade, we still have much to do. While we learned a great deal about the power of collaboration and partnerships, we've ignited a movement to ensure quality in our system. We've expanded several key programs and services. We've witnessed the development of landmark policies and increased funding, and we've learned a lot about what we want to improve. We've also learned a great deal about the beauty of racial and ethnic diversity in our state, the power of spaces that are inclusive, and the richness of our tribal communities in the healthy development of young children in Washington. On the downside, we have systems that have historically marginalized, excluded, and imposed cultural norms on communities within our state. As a result, the disparities that persist for Black, Indigenous, communities of color, and other marginalized communities are harmful to children's healthy development and the well-being of their families. This new plan is a call to action to change these experiences and outcomes. We are deeply proud of and excited about the efforts of communities across the state that have come together to create this plan we believe can interrupt patterns and practices that have reproduced inequities in our system, and have this plan set a solid path for racial equity and social justice in our state for generations to come. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on this journey with us, and I look forward to your insights and your hopes and dreams as you have the opportunity to take a closer look at the plan. Take good care. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Sandy Maldonado, Director of Early Learning at Child Care Aware of Washington, and a member of the Early Learning Plan Steering Committee. This plan was created with a large and diverse group of community partners. More than 150 people from across the state were engaged through a project steering committee and community-based work groups using the targeted universalism framework to ensure that strategies explicitly name our commitments to eliminate racism, bias, and discrimination in communities. At these meetings, the draft goals and strategies were co-created. Additionally, strategic early learning priorities were developed by a work group at the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction, OSPI, and by a separate tribal group facilitated by the Indian Policy Early Learning IPEL Committee. Their work is incorporated throughout this document. The work was guided by examining what our communities need, using numerical data, and by listening to over 2,000 comments from the public about their needs and hopes. This plan is about the whole system of services and supports for families with young children, ranging from childcare to health services to support for parents and the data systems needed to understand how children are doing. The 5-year plan covers the period from prenatal to age 8. The plan is designed to help all children and families thrive and eliminate long-standing inequities in early learning outcomes for Black, Indigenous, people of color, and other marginalized communities. This plan will help the many community and state partners work together to coordinate services designed to help children and families thrive. Washington State is a place where each child starts life with a solid foundation for success, based on strong families, culturally relevant early learning practices, services, and supports that lead to racial equity and the well-being of all children and families. We keep families and children at the core of all we do. We are culturally responsive and do what works best for communities. We lead with racial equity and collaborate with communities. We strive to be transparent and open in our communications and use adaptive and flexible practices. We rely on data to inform decisions, especially the most important ones, your stories and your experiences. We are committed to quality and quality improvement. The goals and strategies are organized into 5 categories. These categories were developed by our steering committee with the understanding that some things would fit well in a couple of places. So we did the best we could and encourage you to review all of the goals and strategies to get a full picture of the vision for our youngest children. Those 5 categories are healthy children and families, strong, stable, nurturing, safe, and supported families, positive early learning experiences, supported early learning workforce, powerful communities, and responsive systems. The goals and strategies are high-level statements. They are not meant to be a detailed implementation plan. This really is like our guiding star. An example of a goal statement is that all communities have access to resources to support their families' health, including their children's optimal health and development, and to ensure that long-standing inequities in health outcomes for Black, Indigenous, and people of color are eliminated. There are different kinds of strategies. Some are designed to benefit everyone, more universal. Some are designed to benefit certain groups and need to be more targeted. And others are designed to help us learn what we don't know and engage us in learning. An example of a strategy is enhancing healthy baby support and prenatal care to eliminate disparities in infant and maternal mortality rates. We really need your help. This is an example of a survey slide you'll find at the end of each video. We want to hear what you think about these goals and strategies. Will they be helpful and support you and your communities and result in strong, healthy children and families? When you have completed your review of goals and strategies, which could include watching some or all of the other videos, please use the link located in the description of each video or go to the DCYF website to provide your thoughts and reactions in a short 5-question survey. Remember, you only need to do the survey once. Please review and explore this information. Your opinion is highly valued, and we will take what we hear from communities and incorporate the comments into the final plan. Thank you so much for the time to get to know and learn more about this important work. We hope to complete the plan by March 2021 and then work with all of the early learning partners to put these strategies into actions.